Okay, so let's do a morning update of Bitcoin. This is 7/12/2024. Right now, we're mid-channel on the 1 hour. So if you're looking at day trading, this is bullish on the 1 hour, bearish on the 4 hour. So what does this tell me as far as a pattern? I suspect another, kind of paradoxical day. Probably morning pump, afternoon dump, as would be a Friday. Through the weekend, I expect this to come down. However, in the morning, we have for the first half of the day, I would say some bullish pressure. This is a bullish cross below the trend line, and on the 1 hour. And as long as when we go down to lower time frames, it does look more bullish. Okay. So for me, this is a no trade zone because it really could break either way. But judging from the longer time frames, the tendency does tend to be downward. And when you look at this pattern, I mean, we just had a big washout. That being said, after a washout we usually do for a pump, once it reached the median kind of trend line, I've never seen it really turn down again for another dump. So again, it's trying to make a decision. You can sense the indecision here. My anticipation is that it will come down, but it won't be as extreme as the previous one. So it'll come down like this. It could be a little bit of a repeat of this pattern. So you can see these lines come together and drop. So that's what I anticipate over the weekend, potentially a long period. However, we could chop sideways some more and then have these things cross and then have another dip. So it would be interesting. And then if you look at the weekly time frame, again, the macro story still continues, right? Everybody on YouTube is talking about, oh, this could be the pump, this could be the turnaround. But I don't anticipate this turning over for weeks a month. I expect something of a repeat of 2021, but more elongated. So, if you look at this fractal versus this one, this fractal is more level, so it anticipates a longer consolidation period, and we'll see a cross, I anticipate. So this downward movement is about halfway done, I would say. Okay. And so, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin in the 40s, high 40s, and then see that minor capitulation. Once we touch again, though, so this bear correction, I think, is half over, meaning you have accumulation period, but the normal investor isn't accumulating. They're fearful because they seem like they're losing money in the short term. However, in retrospect, buying here, you're making money here. And this is likely the new bottom, right? So over these next couple of months, you have that. Now, again, this could be more extended. So this comes down, etc., and then curls around and then pumps back up into late 2025, which is actually what the power cycle dictates, right? So I expect another breach over this top, over this RSI top. late 2025. And so we can imagine what kind of structure in here happens. Because, again, I don't think this comes down. This is a bear market. It comes below the trend line, which will happen again. But again, historically, and if you look at the power cycle as well, 2025, late 2025, let's see here, would be the second pump. And then it'll come back down and touch. So, that would be so the more you zoom out, it looks a little bearish. Again, zoom out high enough, it's hyper bullish, right? This is a very attractive asset class. So, you know, if your frame is multiple years, then you know, this is a great time to get it. However, again, as you're day trading, once we look at these time frames here, a little bit mixed of a story today.